You're such an asshole.
How you kids doing? We got up close and personal. Move the camera in. We had a guy who says, Happy New Year, Aaron. I'm profiting from an upswing in rent and additional retail space build-outs, and it may now be time for the captain to get his share. Are you interested in doing a video on any one of the following topics? He says, this is the one I wish he paid for, but would have required some research and time. Is it me, or are people just getting dumber? Is it that technology has made them more visibly in the world and the rate of stupid is stagnant, or have they been out fucking us over the past 80 years? Anyone wants to be charitable, they'll pay the fee for that one. That would take some research. I mean, I have some of the research done, but I'd have to look at that. B, minimalism, thrift, and self-reliance. You advocate for those who do it quite often, blah, blah. And then C, personal finance or FIRE blogs. Are all these bloggers full of shit, or do they practice what they preach? And again, I'd have to do some research on that one. He says, I was hoping I could get one done for 35. And option B about minimalism is the one that would afford. And it's not that I wanted to screw you over or anything like that. It's just that I bill for my time. And even if I'd love to do the first one, it doesn't matter. It's still my time, and it really is opportunity cost. If I spend 15 minutes doing that, that's 15 minutes less that I could be doing something else. And it's a very good position to be in when you're just in such fucking demand. So let's go through the details of the question you did pay for. Minimalism, thrift, and self-reliance. You advocate for these quite often. Do you have any tips or real-life suggestions that you do or had others tell you about that you'd like to share that you already haven't touched on? For example, my hobbies are all integrated. I keep native saltwater aquarium fish. Some is bait for the aesthetics. I kayak fish in the ocean, so I get to eat what I catch and freeze the rest, and have an oversized vegetable garden. All combined, I cut down the household food expenses, get better tasting food, and enjoying my hobbies. So here, I guess we could get into the spectrum of minimalism. So I took some notes here because I did want to organize my thoughts and really think of some things I have not mentioned before. I'm going to reiterate some because they're really important and no one's following them. But let's talk about the spectrum of minimalism and that. All right, the first thing. If you are already serious about minimalism, it's kind of like, it's the Pareto principle. 20% of the things accounts for 80% of the stuff. 20% of the workers account for 80% of the work. 20% of the hot guys bang 80% of the women. 20% of the people consume 80% of the taxes. So we could, and here's the same thing. If you're even a semi-serious minimalist, and by serious I mean you can cut your budget, you understand people are more important than things are not going to make you happy in life, then you have 80% of it. A really good friend of mine, he is more of a minimalist than I am, and we were having a conversation. He's like, well, you're never going to go bankrupt. You're like, yeah, okay, because we go to Perkins. Him and I guess are the only ones in our group that I love Perkins. Guys, it's wrong if you don't like Perkins. So I go to Perkins. I like it. And he's very minimalistic. But he's a millionaire multi times over. He can afford it, and he's closer to death than I am. And he'll get broccoli and coffee, and then maybe he might get like a sandwich, maybe. And I like Perkins, so I get the broccoli and the chicken. They got the best broccoli. Maybe I'll get a pie, not a whole one, but a piece of pie. And usually always my bill is higher than his. And he pointed out, I was like, yeah, but people don't go bankrupt getting an extra piece of pie. People don't go bankrupt getting that extra drink. People don't go bankrupt putting premium in the tank. People go bankrupt when the tank they're putting it into is not a 2008 Kia Rio, but a 2019 brand new Audi 8 that my hubby got me. That's how you go bankrupt. So for minimalists, I think just having a budget and spending less than you make, and knowing that time is more important than money, you're 80% there. It's not like, oh my God, you're gonna have this. What are they? Not a spring purchase. What do they call it? A surprise purchase. What do they call that? Splurge purchase. You're not gonna like, oops, so I came back home with a Lamborghini. That's not in your nature. So what I'm more worried about is the far other end of it. So you're kind of a a fair weather fan minimalist. But then on the other extremes, you have the purists. And I think that it's very imbalanced on that side, where you're leaving a lot on the table of life. I got a lot of guys like, I'm a minimalist, I'm sitting on 2.5 million. I'm like, you could loosen up the purse strings a little. Is there anything you wanted to do? I'm not saying buy a Ferrari, that's stupid. I am saying buy property, But yeah, you can afford to not wait for happy hour. No, you could get first class if you wanted to. And so I see a lot of people that really fail. I understand they like the security of having FU money. And that's the number one asset of having that much money. It's not what the money will buy, but what it guarantees against. Like, you won't starve. I understand that. But a lot of those FIRE, early retirement extremes, not even necessarily disagreeing with them, a fair amount of them, and you ask, are some of them legitimate? Very much so, to the point it's to a fault. Where I'm like, whoa, guys, you have enough. What if this? Well, if that happens, we're all fucked. It's what if nuclear war happened? Well, you got bigger problems. So I would caution against going so extreme. I remember having one client, and again, it gets really more of a philosophy. I can't criticize it, but it would not be for me. These guys lived essentially in a monastery, a big apartment. I think a 5-bedroom apartment. They all went and rented rooms. I think everyone had a bike or was using public transportation, all a bunch of bachelors. And they had a ton of money. And I'm kind of like, yeah, and I'll talk about this later, but, okay, fine, you're saving $1,000 a year if you had an automobile, but what if you're on that bus and, you're standing outside and you get a cold and you got pneumonia, or there's somebody who's got tuberculosis, right? Now, all that money you saved riding the bus would have been avoided had you gotten yourself a car. So there's an element of tripping over a dollar to pick up a dime aspect of that. So that's kind of the spectrum. I say as long as you're on the spectrum, you're fine. I'm pretty squarely, solidly in the middle. You guys all know I like to spend my money on travel. Not travel, oh my God. I'm going to go to Morocco and get my head cut off because I'm so understanding. I'm talking gas, motorcycle repair, maintenance, gear, new jacket, gonna patch it up. And then when I travel, it's couch surfing, crashing with buddies. I will buy good food. I'm very pro good food, but I've been starting to cook at home more. I would have a good shot of booze. I mean, you guys know me and my rumplements. I would enjoy life. And by gosh, there's still money left over. And the house still got paid off early and all that other stuff. So that your personality is ultimately going to depend, and your life goals is ultimately going to depend. I would make sure you're not too milky toast, minimalist, because it won't be effective. Nor would I recommend you be extreme. But just a good, solid minimalist where you're not buying cars you can't afford. You're not buying more house than you need. You're not taking on credit card debt. and then beyond that, I can't criticize because you're not going to go bankrupt. Or there's a very, very, very low chance that you will. And then you fit along the spectrum wherever it is your personal tastes and preferences and your life goals want you to be. So in terms of specific things, I'm going to reiterate these again for the rookies, and this gets back to my original point. If you do these three things, you're the 20% doing 80% of the lifting, okay? You avoid these three major purchases. One, you don't major in stupid shit, okay? Avoid stupid degrees. I'm not saying don't spend money on a good degree. I'm not even saying don't spend good money on a good degree. Don't major in stupid shit, right? That right there would have saved all the millennials, but again, I'm an evil guy who's ruining dreams, and it's so funny seeing them fail now. They're in their 30s. You know, when I had my student loans paid off before graduation, because I worked out my ass off, you know, tuition was cheaper then. Yes, it was. But you guys kept voting to flood the economy with money. Anyway, avoid stupid degrees. Cars. Do not buy new cars. Don't even buy nice used cars. You get a car for transportation. That's it. We bought a replacement for the 2008 Kia Rio. It's an even older car, but we found it for $5,000 and it had 27,000 miles. And yes, you know what? It's the food, clothing, and shelter car. It's got 4 wheels, heat. It even has air conditioning and power steering. That's how much I spoil my girlfriend. But you know what? It gets us from point A to point B just like a Ferrari and a little less loud. So just don't. You pay cash for cars. That's another good rule right there. Pay cash. No, the cars are so expensive. No, they're not. You have not spent the time to look for them. Go to Auto Trader. Go to Car Soup. Set your parameter to 1,000 miles. You will find a shitty but quality used car. Well, I won't get to pick up chicks, so I guess you're not going to pick up chicks then. You're relying on your car to pick up chicks. Send me another email. I'll charge you a lot of money. And then the final one is getting more house than you need. Be it renting or be it actually purchasing a house. Lodging. You need more lodging than you need. Every minimalist should be able to fit comfortably into a studio apartment. To this day, if you take away my Star Wars arcade game, all of my worldly possessions fit into the back of my truck. All of them. I've gotten rid of purged, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Because when me and the GF move, I'm not lifted a finger to help her. I'm like, meh. I might even light up a cigar. Nope, this is why I'm going to enjoy this. This is why I am a minimalist. All right, I'll help you with the couch. But I'm over here. I got my cigar. You have fun with that. What's it called? Oh, so either you don't want to, and understand, rent or mortgage is determined by per square foot. The less shit you have, the less per square foot you got to rent out, which means the lower your rent and mortgage expense, and those are your largest expenses, unless you are a millennial and you were stupid enough to go to college. Then you spent more on a degree than you did a house, and you're not even going to get anything out of the degree, whereas you'd actually get lodging out of the house. Anyway, point being, DT. His starter home is his retirement home. I never understood starter home. I got a starter home, so we can get a bigger home for our kids to go back to a small starter home. It's like, why don't you just have the kids bunk bed and share a room? Well, where would we put their hockey stuff? We need a 4-car garage because we want each of our children to have cars because we're a bunch of spoiled Quantaha swipples out in the east suburbs of Minnesota. Egan, Edina, Eden Prairie. There's another E. There's got to be another E one. Something. All the rich places start with E in Minnesota. Yeah, that adds up real quick to your mortgage and your insurance and all that. So that's a huge run. You do those 3 things, the chances of you running into financial problems is as close to 0 as you can get. Okay, so those 3 things, you're already there. I want to reemphasize second thing. I want to reemphasize cars. You guys, Claire, you've talked about cars. Yeah, but then I have good, close personal friends that buy used cars when they say, dude, you're right about the cars. Oh my God. And then they go and borrow money to buy a brand new car. Oh, my other friend. And I have more instances of people who read my books. They agree, blah, blah, blah. Family, friends, fans, listeners, viewers, readers. Oh, you got a car loan. Fuck. Fine, it's guys. 60% guys on this one. Let's be honest. The girls will do it too. View cars as transportation. Okay, you do not buy new. You always buy used. You pay cash for your car. And then the other thing I will add to cars, and this is again not new, but it's vital. Do your own maintenance. Right? In my day, we didn't have the YouTube. We had your dad who didn't know how to fix a car and wasn't around anyway to show you, or you had that one friend of yours who did know how to fix a car but was so pissed off at people asking him to help him fix the cars that, and they didn't charge, that you were afraid to ask for their help, and so you're stuck going to mechanics. Do the maintenance on your own cars. That's going to be a huge one, especially if you're younger. Please read Bachelor Pad Economics. I started at the age of 14 where it's like, you should be learning auto mechanics. So by the time you're 16, you're not quandared with, well, I can't afford that nice car, so I got to buy this piece of shit car, but it'll break down all the time. Now you're like, yeah, I can afford the piece of shit car because I can fix it all the time. And then, oh God, the opportunities high schoolers have. If you can fix your friends' cars in high school and charge them money, you're going to make more than your teachers. You are, on a per hour basis, you're going to make more than those dipshit teachers you got going in high school. You're going to make more than your average college thing. Then you go to college. I say don't go to college, but then you go to college, you can buy college car service. You could college car service. And there you go, and you set up the website. Yeah, I'll fix your car. If you're a student, you get a discount, but you don't really give them a discount. You just say you give them a discount. You charge everybody else extra. Helps you get dates. Well, you can't do that anymore. That'll get you in trouble. Well, you could be going on a date with me. I'll feel, oh my God, sex is really, and you got a tile and 9 things shoved up your ass. So please learn to do maintenance on your vehicles. All right, as I was also mentioning before, cheapness can cost you more in the long run. You want to be frugal. You do not want to be cheap, tripping over $1 to pick up a dime. I've told the story before when I worked at that bank in Wyoming, where to save money on the email system, they limited the attachment capability at 50 megabytes, I believe, 50 megabytes. The problem is some people's tax returns or blueprints for buildings that want to be constructed or all the other documents would exceed 50 megabytes, or pictures, appraisals. They would exceed 50 megabytes, so we'd have to physically print them off. And then if that document was with that city's office or that city's office, we would have to spend gas driving those files back and forth. But we saved a couple dollars on the email system. Actually, we lost a rather large client because he thought he had sent us his email, but the attachment capacity was too high, and we never got back to him, and he went with another bank. It's things like that. Like, for example, right now, I changed the oil in my truck. They gave me the wrong filter. I'm like, this doesn't, how often do you look at your filter? Apparently enough, because something was screwy about it first. Try to put this filter on, it doesn't work. All right, well, now I got to put on the old filter. All that oil I got to pour in the oil because I can't drive my car without oil to return and get a new filter down to one vehicle. And yes, I might have saved some money doing this oil change myself, but not now. If I just take it into a Jiffy Lube, they get a discount on oil. It's really hard to beat oil changes price on oil. They would have done it right. They would have gotten the right filter, or they would have picked the wrong one. Auto parts, what was it? AutoZone. Here you go. You sure? Yeah. All right. They would have said, no, this isn't working. We got to get a different filter. They would put the right one on. They would, there you go, sir. It's ready to go. So now I got to worry okay, because I clamped down and twisted it. Is that going to leak? I'm only going to get half the use of this oil change because it's got an old oil filter. You know what? Would have been totally worth the early bird special of $26.95 or whatever the price is to go in and have it done right. A lot of things are also more related to health, like motorcycle jacket, another perfect example. Yeah, you just need a motorcycle jacket with leather on it. Yeah, okay, I guess that works. Yeah, but it might be worth the extra $100 to get the armor plates inside of it. And the reason why is that it will protect your spine and your bones. And if you do get in an accident, you're not paralyzed. You know what? That was a pretty wise $100 investment. So there are things where, Do you buy the cheap vacuum or the high quality? Get the high quality vacuum because you're just going to have to return that damn cheap vacuum. And the other thing is your goddamn time. Forget over the long haul costing you more money. It's your damn time. I hate with a passion having to go and fix shit because it's like, why didn't this work the first time? Oh, I see. Whoever did it the first time did a shitty, cheap ass job. And so now I gotta go with some plumbing I had to do. God damn, am I fucking masculine. I am fucking masculine as hell. No, really, I've learned all this shit, which is a good thing. So now I've learned a lot about plumbing and auto mechanics and garage door maintenance and pool maintenance and all this other shit. But it's just kind of like, what if you had just plumbed that right the first time? We wouldn't have had to have all these extra, not even expenses, but time, troubleshooting. So as a minimalist, buy quality shit, not expensive, quality. Get the toilet bowl that does work, not the cheapest one. Get the oven that does work, not the one that you get. Heck, a lot of the cheap ovens you can find are on teardowns. They have an old oven that still works, not one of these plastic ones that are brand new. No longer at Sears though. So do not be cheap, be frugal, and think about how long. God, imagine if your electronics and tools and shit lasted forever. How much time that would save you. You wouldn't even have to go to Walmart. No, the iron still works. Nope, the coffee pot still works. Okay, another one. Join clubs. This is a new one. This is one I did not know until my buddy Richard pointed this out to me. He belongs to Costco. And he was telling me about how he got these not only dirt cheap flights to Denver, like $40 round trip. Oh, car rentals. Guy's saving bank on whatever these clubs are. Costco seems to have one of the better ones, but these clubs where you get the little swipey thing or you join or whatever, they will save you a lot of money. I know some grocery stores. When I was in Wyoming, if you became the Savers member, you'd save 20% on your groceries. That adds up. And I am a proud member of the $9 Fare Club at Spirit Airlines because you pay $50, and then the flight that I bought, that purchase saved me $60. Now immediately, okay, they're going to get your information, they're going to market to. Okay, I understand that. But there are a lot of clubs and things in the Gas Savers card that will go a long way in lowering your expenses. Very closely related to this, but I want to get into more of a mindset, and I did not appreciate. Actually, you know what? Let me go show you. I will tell you a story. I will tell you a story. Nah. Watch. This is, look at that. I'll show you very close. This is my one nice watch. It's not a Rolex. I think it's Polo. It's very fashionable. It's not Omega because I'm not a moron. I just want something that looks nice. And so I think that was originally $60. The girlfriend had her JCPenney or Kohl's membership thing. Coupon on the cell phone, and then a coupon from the paper. And that watch cost me $15. Now I understand that Kohl's does that whole thing like, hey, 50% off sale, because we only marked it up 400% before we even listed it on the floor. I understand that. But what you want to do, be you a male or a female, is you want to become the traditional wife. And the reason I say traditional wife is because traditionally, in between men beating them and oppressing them, because that's how it always worked in the past, women served some very key and vital roles equivalent in value to men. There was the raising of the children, there was the housekeeping, but and the biggest mistake feminists make is to assume that women had no financial role in the finances of the family. when they had an equal role to men, even if they didn't have a job. And the reason why is they were the ones who had the budget. They were the ones buying things, so they were keeping and maintaining the home. Oh, we're gonna make dinner. We're gonna get clothes for the kids. Oh, we gotta sew and darn their socks. Women played an equal role to the finances of a family, because it's not just how much money do you make, it's how much you spend. Now, you idiots and sheep, all you think about is how much do you make, and you don't care how much you spend because you spend more than you make, and then you wonder why you all have financial problems. But in the olden days, when people actually gave a shit about themselves and the family and society, you didn't want to go into debt. And so what women did is they made sure the money that the husband made went as far as possible, because purchasing power, standards of living, is determined by two things: how much you make, and then how far can you make that money go? How far can you stretch a dollar? And women were brilliant at this. Brilliant. It was vital. You can't just go. I mean, we're so spoiled now. I mean, I don't even look at the prices of things. If I go to the grocery store and buy groceries, I'm like, dude, I'm saving money. I'm not eating out. But back in the day, women would haggle. Well, that's 3 cents a pound more at Bob's Meat Hut than it is over at Jones Meat Hut. Maybe I'll go over to Jones Meat Hut and save myself a nickel. Making that money go as far as possible is vital. So in addition to having your Costco membership or looking for different other clubs to join, things like coupons, things like waiting for, take the 4 seconds it takes to look at pricing. And even by law, I think grocers have to put things in cents per unit or cost per ounce or whatever. Wait for things to go on sale. I know it sounds so old hat and maybe such a waste. Not a waste of time. A waste of time is you could easily save 50% by switching to Geico. You could save 50%, I'd say, on average, if you wait for happy hours, if you go get coupons, if you get for the Groupon, you get the apps. Everything is made pretty convenient. You're not cutting them out anymore, although you could still do that. But being a frugal shopper, stretching your dollar, and I'm not talking about we just don't buy things. We don't buy expensive things. You're going to have to buy stuff. So what stuff you do buy, take the time to, because I used to think, you got this fucking coupon. Look at this broad. God, typical girl. She got coupons. How 1982. And then all of a sudden, stuff like this happens. Like, you got it for how much? And we're not talking you're saving 5-6%. You're saving 20, 25, 50. Shit, I think that was 75% off. You can work all that much less. So I would definitely get into that traditional wife role of sitting down with the budget, waiting, doing a little pre-planning. Everyone's so fast, go, get our way. And a lot of minimalists will get into that because you want to be light, you want to be fast on your feet, you want to be able to go at a drop of a hat's notice. But if you take the time, like, wait a minute, there's a sale. You take a look at that coupon thing. Wait, hey, is there any? Do I need meat? I need chicken. Oh wow, look, it's 40% off at Cub, 20% over at Rainbow. So I would definitely, don't necessarily clip coupons, but wait for sales. Stretch that budget. Maybe get the gas card. Save yourself a nickel on gas. You'd be surprised. Normally I would say that falls into the category of, look, you've done your 20%, clipping coupons isn't going to save you from bankruptcy. But it might make your retirement noticeably easier if you get into the habit of making frugal purchases in your everyday purchases. And then finally, I've mentioned this before, I'll say it again, you're going to want to get 3 sets of tools: computer, auto, and carpentry. Carpentry is a little bit more difficult because those are power tools and they take up a lot of space. So a radial saw, I got a chainsaw. What else? A nail gun, drill, stuff that you'd like to be able to at least frame something, hammer, frame, flooring, caulk gun. That won't take much more than a large plastic bin. There's just some key things that you should have, that you could put up some sheetrock, some wiring tools. Plumbing tools get pretty expensive pretty quick, just a big freaking wrench. And plumbing definitely is a skill. You gotta get glue, and you gotta get a map gas torch and all this other stuff. I'm manly as fuck. Man, by God, this is when you get to do the blowtorch. This is when fire comes into it. You're like, oh, I get to blow shit up. And then via YouTube, I would teach yourself those things, because you're gonna have to learn how to fix your computer. More often than not, it's gonna be software related than hardware related. And nowadays it's so cheap that if your computer starts to shit the bed, you just trade it in. Auto repair, though, that's not going to go away anytime soon. And then carpentry, that'll help out a lot, especially when you become a homeowner. And that's about it. There were some other things I was thinking about, like if you're in a nice climate, get a bike. I used to bike even in Minnesota, just to save money on parking. So biking and cycling is really good. But more recently, they're coming out with these electric scooters, ones that you stand on and then actual ones you ride. And there's electric bikes. Those, again, if you're in the climate, even I'm thinking about getting it, because I'm thinking of a stand-up scooter, because I can pick it up and I'm like, can I take that on the airplane? And charge it up, 60-mile range, and just off you go. Get groceries and things like that. But we're really getting to the point where it's like, if we've done everything I talked about before, you're 96% there. How much do you want to spend in terms of effort and sacrificing, some of the conveniences of life to eke out that extra 4%? So that would be my thoughts on that. So, all right, questions, answers, assholeconsulting.com. What else? The books are all there. They're all worth reading. All those books, all of them. Speaking of frugality, this one would be a good book about retirement planning. Poor Richard's Retirement. Retirement for Everyday Americans. And it's not a long book, but it is a good book. It really is an essay. I got a couple more essays I'm going to write before I actually write my next major book. And that's it. See you guys later. Toodles.